Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is the 1st of July, and if you play Football Manager, we all know what the 1st of July does mean: transfer time. And as we can see, we have got a few emails to go through. We've definitely got some transfers coming in, we've got some going out. We're going to go through that together and progress through to the first game of the season, which will be about halfway through this episode, in theory, if future James has done this properly. So first up, we have got Dominic Schumacher, who was a 19-year-old defensive midfielder at our club. He's gone. Wasn't ever going to be good enough. The board are happy with that, or the fans are happy with that anyway. Rafael Musa, a 22-year-old defensive midfielder, also gone. The fans happy with that, as he wasn't the required standard. So we do seem to be getting those transfers right so far, which is a great start. We've then got Tank Jurgen. He was also sold, cause never going to make the grade here. Vincent Muller, our 27-year-old backup goalkeeper, gone. Fans are happy with that. So at the moment, ourselves and the fan are in agreement. Another one here, Philippe Sayomayev, yep, that guy there, he's gone. Again, the fans in agreement with that. We've then got Florian Lurik, who's gone. Lennart Gaulark, who's gone. So as we can see, we are making some moves in the transfer market, and we've brought some people in as well. As you can see, there's quite a lot of them. So let's have a look at who we've brought in and what positions we have managed to improve. First up is Moritz Funk. He's German and a right back, which is really, really nice. I think we mentioned at the end of last episode, first up, we did want to improve our back four plus our goalkeeper. So this is essential for that. 58 million. We haven't paid any of these completely up front. We haven't paid 58 million up front. We've paid a much smaller amount with some installments and some potential add-ons later on. But he's going to be probably our main wing back for this season. I think we've promised he's going to be an important player, so I hope it works out that way. He's got some good crossing, 14 crossing at the age of 22. We finally have a wing back who can cross the ball, which is nice. Dribbling does let him down a little bit, but he's got some really good acceleration, good pace. His physicals are brilliant, and as we can see, he can improve still a little bit. At the moment, the team are rating as a leading Bundesliga player. He has potential to be a star Bundesliga. So that is a great first signing we made this summer. We've also brought in the goalkeeper I mentioned in the last episode, Edouard Mendy. He is 36 years old at this point in the save, but as we can see, he's still pretty capable. He looks like he's got some good goalkeeping attributes there. His mentals are still pretty decent. Fair enough, his physicals do let him down a little bit, but he's been doing okay in the Premier League, getting good ratings there, so I'd expect him to do equally as well in the Bundesliga. And the other good thing is, I'm not expecting him to be around for too long. He's got a season-long contract at the moment, but if we're having a look at his personality, it's fairly professional, so I'm hoping I can use him to mentor some of the other goalkeepers we've brought in this transfer window. We've then brought in Martin Hueg. He's Danish. We brought him in from Copenhagen. He came in on a free as very much let's bring him in, see what he looks like, hopefully develop him a bit and sell him on for a profit. As we can see, the fan reaction is a bit let down, not happy with that one, which to be expected, I guess. We've also brought a familiar face over who's going to be one of those people mentored by Mendy, and that is Johnny White, coming over from Manchester City. Obviously at the age of 19, nowhere near the finished product yet, but he's already looking like a Bundesliga standard player at the age of 19, and we're saying he could improve a lot. So Johnny White is very much coming in to be our forever goalkeeper, hopefully. We have had to pay a bit of money to get him, 15.5 million for a 19-year-old goalkeeper, but I think at 15.5 million, if we can actually keep him for the rest of our time at Hertha Berlin and beyond, and he becomes their forever goalkeeper for the next 10 to 15 years, then that would be £15 million well spent. 15 years, that would be £1 million a year, and I don't think you could actually get a goalkeeper who could end up being that good for that price. We've also brought in Kai Lenz. Kai Lenz is an Australian goalkeeper. We brought him in for no money at all from Borussia Dortmund. Again, it's another free. Am I expecting him to do a lot? Probably not. Am I expecting him to develop so I can sell him for a bit of money? Yes, that's exactly what I'm expecting Kai Lenz to do. So that's what he's going to be here for. We've then brought in Mohamed Diallo. Mohamed Diallo costing us 3.7 million and coming from Bayern Munich. He's going to be playing as a defensive midfielder. He can cover as a centre-back and as a central midfielder, but we've brought it in because we need some players to play in that half-back role that we're going to be playing with this season. And as we can see, he does a reasonable job with it. Again, he's another one. He's only 2-star. He could go up to 4-star. He's got some time. He's definitely got time on his hands. He's only 18 years old. Before we have a look at the rest of the signings, if you do enjoy today's episode, of course, please do drop a like down below. And if you are new to the channel, why not subscribe as well? We have this series uploaded on a daily basis. But on with the rest of our signings then. We've got Thierry Small, a 23-year-old fullback. He is English and has come across from Southampton for £13 million. Now, he's another one that I was, when I scouted him, hoping he'd end up being our forever left back. He's classed as at 3 stars, could be a leading Bundesliga player, which is quite a scary thought. I don't know if that means our team is really, really good, or if the Bundesliga's quite a poor league compared to other leagues, because we were scouting him and he was coming up as anything up to a 4.5 star. Once he's come in, of course, we can see here he's only actually got 3-star potential, but I think he's a very capable left back nonetheless. We've also brought in Mickey van Saz, who's another goalkeeper, come across from Lazio for 1.3 million. We're just hoping again to turn a little bit of a profit on him at the moment. Decent Bundesliga player, so can already play in that position, so he'd be the deputy to our deputy should Mendy, for example, get injured. And he's got a good personality as well, so I'm happy to bring him in. And our final signing for the moment is Emmanuel Freeman. Emmanuel Freeman is again going to be playing probably in this half-back role. As we can see, he's got some decent attributes there. He's only 21 years old and German, coming over from Borussia Dortmund for 42.5 million, which might seem quite expensive, but we need someone in that position. I prefer them to be German just because of the Bundesliga rules and the fact that that just seems to be a way of German teams. There's a lot more German players in Germany than there are, say, English top flight players in England. At least I seem to see that. And he was playing semi-regularly for Borussia Dortmund, so I'm very happy to bring him over. His personality is not great, but I think he can definitely, as we can see, improve with time. We can also see we had some more players leaving the club. Castells is obviously gone. He went on a free. We then had Kylian Ludwig go as well, 5.25 million, but he was never going to be playing for us. Christoph Baumgartner has gone for £10 million over to Schalke as well. Another one I don't think played any time at all for us last season. We then got Robin Zetnia gone over to Marseille. And we've got a little bit of money for him as well. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination yet we have got the finished product. I definitely think we could still make some more signings. Stefan Jaeger is not one we're going to be letting go for that amount of money. That's ridiculous. Catalan Stan here, also another one who's wanted by Herenveen, who are in the Eredivisie. But I feel like we keep him at the club because he is a good, nice sort of rotation option. At the moment, it could be that we bring in some other players, in which case we can look at maybe offering him out for a transfer. Teams want this guy as well, but I just don't know if we get rid of him yet or if we let him develop a little bit more and then hopefully receive a little bit more money for him. We're just going to get the assistant manager to deal with those, and we'll quickly have a look at the moment. This is what our squad would look like if we just pick without restriction and best 11 at the moment. This is apparently our best squad. So we've got Mendy in goal, surprise surprise, Cucurella, Valdez, Kabak. We then got Funk out on the right. We've got Egerstein, Traore, Naos, Cavarat on the left, Akahomak on the right, and Gomez up front. I think that's a very, very questionable lineup. I mean, Techahoa for a start I'd want over there. I think Egerstein, I mean, you can play as a 2.5 star halfback there. Del Port can play as a better halfback. So potentially we end up with Del Port there at the start of the season. We've obviously got our new signings who can go in there as well. I definitely would not be playing this formation. Cucurella, I mean, yeah, realistically at the moment, probably the best we've got at left back still. So we still do have some improvements to make. If we have a look at our finances, we still have £49 million to do it with. So we've managed to bring one more player in, but also we've had one more player leave the club as well. Ozan Kabak had his release clause activated. He actually came and said he wanted to leave anyway. And then Manchester United came in and activated his release clause. So he's gone over to Man United for £47.5 million. And that is the second really good defender that Man United have stolen off of me since we've been at Hertha Berlin. It's starting to get a little bit irritating. On the inside though, Gianluca Mancini comes in from Newcastle. We've made a very, very healthy transfer profit there. We've brought him in for £6.25 million. We knew that Kabak was leaving, so he was here just before Kabak left, and they were about equal, more or less, on the reports anyway. So we've brought in a very, very capable centre-back to replace Kabak, and we've made about £40 million worth of transfer budget. It means our transfer budget is back up to £75 million, and we've got a decent amount of wage budget as well. And right now, I don't have anyone else to bring into the club. I do have a player that I want to be bringing in, but at the moment won't come and join us. I think at some point we're going to want to get this guy, I've no idea how you say his first name, but Mitic, who's over at PSG at the moment. As we can see, he's not actually that expensive, but he's literally just signed a new contract with them and won't come to us. But I think at the age of 21, he could be our forever striker, the guy that we build the club around for seasons to come, if we can get him to come over. But that probably won't be until at least January. We've got someone scouting him constantly because 17 finishing, and look at this pace. He is literally described by the media as a pacey goal scorer. 18 agility, 16 acceleration, 18 for pace. This guy is blistering, and I really, really want to bring him to the club. But for the moment, he won't come over and join us. So it's going to be very much waiting now until we either realise that we have a gap in the squad, or we're able to sign someone like that. For now, we're going to see our first match of the season. It is in the DFB Pokal. We haven't managed to see any in the DFB Pokal yet, because obviously we're eliminated from that before we even got here, and it's against a team called SSV Reuterligen. It's very much a nice begin the season and just have a chat about what we're going to do with the season ahead. The only other thing that did actually happen in between earlier and now, when I've come back to you guys, is Kevin Valdez managed to break his ribs and is out for 6 weeks. He's been out for about 2 weeks already. It's a less than ideal start, if we're honest, but we do have to deal with it. This is going to be our lineup, and I think this might actually be our lineup for the first actual proper game of the season, which, spoilers, is against Bayern Munich in tomorrow's episode, because why would we want an easy start to the season? But this is very likely to be at least close to our first choice squad. We've got White in goal. He would probably normally be Edworthy, but we're giving him some game time. Small on the left, Delport, Mancini and Funk as our back four. We've then got Freeman, Traore and Schubert in midfield, with Cavarat over on the left, Peshahoa on the right and Maxi Gomez up front. I think the only changes between now and the start of our first game would be White for Mendy, and potentially Small would come out for Cucurella, but Cucurella is one who wants to leave the club and go to Real Madrid. We've promised he can go to Real Madrid if we get a bid of 32 million. The only good thing with that is that asking price does seem to have put Real Madrid off a little bit, so hopefully we'll be able to keep him around the club for the rest of the season, or he'll leave, in which case we've got Thierry Small, and we have a look and see if we can bring in another player who's equally as good. That would be an equally ideal scenario. What we need here though is just to get off to a good start. I think we should beat Reuterligen pretty easily, in all honesty, but you never know. I'm hoping as well it's just a nice start to the season with some goals like this from Cavarat and it's just a bit of a morale booster before we get stuck into Bayern Munich, and I think it's Union Berlin, which is obviously a local derby, in our second match next episode, and we want the morale to be as high as possible before we get to that match. This is a really good way to start the season, just facing off against the lower league team. This is almost acting as an additional friendly for us, but one that we should go and read nice and easily, and will get us off to a nice start. Traore with a free kick into Gomez. Gomez almost managing to get to it. Mancini is going to score that one. It's a very, very bizarre goal, but it is a goal on his debut, which again, great stuff to see. Exactly what you want from your debutee. This might be the first match since I've been on YouTube that I need to edit out some of the highlights, because there's going to be so many. So if we're not scoring a goal, I might just have to edit it out. So that is your warning if this suddenly goes a bit jerky and it doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of the time up in the corner. It's because nothing's happened. For this example, this highlight would have been ideal to do it. It's probably going to come to nothing. Hertha Berlin are managing to get on the attack here, which good for them, I guess. But I'm not expecting too much to come from this attack for them, although this is kind of a little bit scary, I guess. We have managed to regain possession. Big ball forward to literally no one, but never mind. What I'm hoping for this season as well with Hertha Berlin then is that we just manage to build up some of our players that have some potential, that maybe that we had already at the club or that we're bringing in this season. So for the likes of Freeman, Cavarat's just absolutely bombed that one into the back of the net for his second goal of the season as well. The example being of those sort of players, Freeman, Del Port, Funk has come in this season. Schubert was obviously already here but didn't get a lot of game time, but I think he's probably a very, very good choice there as well. Tetchahoa, White when we can play him. All players who are still quite young, and we could quite easily build the team around them for the next few seasons. Obviously, always the risk at a team like Hertha Berlin in Germany that if we get any good players, they are just going to get stole by Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. Most likely Bayern Munich. Apparently, Manchester United, as we've seen as well, do like stealing my players quite a lot from Hertha Berlin. So, something for us to keep an eye on. But eventually, I think we will maybe be in a position to win the Bundesliga. I am actually quite confident in that regard with the way we're building the team. We can go and win the Bundesliga. I don't think it'll be this season. I don't think it'll be this upcoming season. But I don't think it'll be a million miles away either, as long as we can keep some of our players, like Schubert there, who's absolutely rattled the crossbar from some range, to be fair. He's managed to chip the goalkeeper, and unfortunately, it's not dipped quite quick enough for it to be a goal. He's then gone in and tried to head it in as well. What a lad. Another highlight here. There is absolutely bags in. We're going to have to just like fast forward this a little bit as well, I think. Schubert into Tetchahoa. Tetchahoa on the turn. And it's kind of been dealt with by Hertha Berlin. I guess we're not quite as dominant as we could be. We are 3-0 up after 21 minutes though. So I say that. It's probably a bit of a lie. We are quite far ahead. Funk here. Funk brought down in the box. Are they about to go down to 10 men as well? They are about to go down to 10 men. We're just going to go on attack here as well then at that point, and just make it a little bit of a bloodbath. Goal kick here for them. Schubert is going to regain possession pretty much instantly, and Funk is now going to drive down that right-hand side and try and get across into the box. He has got it. Tetchahoa back to Schubert. Schubert with another shot. He's desperate to score a goal and not having much luck today. Small's brought down in the box as well, and now it's going to be a penalty for us. Cavarat going to take that one to get his hat-trick on the first day of the season, and it's all coming up Hertha Berlin. I mean, do we even need to watch the rest of this match? Probably not. I might have to just sort of skip towards the end of the match now, because this feels semi-pointless, and just give you the final result, and we'll look ahead to next match and the match against Bayern Munich, I think. Well, with 15 minutes left to play, you can see we are 10-0 up. I've been gone for about 7-8 minutes in real time, because this is a long game. There's so many highlights, even on key highlights for this one. If we're having a look, we can see Schubert has managed to score two goals, I think it is. Freeman scored on his debut. Mancini scored on his debut. Diallo has scored on his debut. So we've got a lot of nice debuts for players here. It's probably a nice match for them to be making their debuts and sort of guaranteeing themselves a goal and a good rating in their first match for the club. I mean, they're not really helping themselves, Routenliga, with clearances like that, to be honest. Techahoa now just bearing down on goal, trying to get this to 11 goals with a nice cross into the box for Cavarat to just nod home. Is that his 6th goal of the game? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this is his 4th goal of the game. We had this before. I had this last season where it's saying 6 goals, but I don't know where the other 2 goals have come from, because obviously this is the first competitive fixture. I thought coming back with 50 minutes left would lead to us sort of not having much more of this episode. But we seem determined to just keep attacking and going adding goals. Again, at this point, they are down to 10 men. We could probably just let them die, really. But we are just thumping them mercilessly. Hertha Berlin are not taking any prisoners. They've just got another yellow card. They're down to 9 men. I mean, just make it stop at this point, Hertha Berlin. This is just mean at this point. There's no need for it. Traore with a corner into Mancini. Mancini trying to get a hat-trick on his debut. Not quite managing it, but he has got his 2 goals. And that is 50 shots for us now with an XG. Oh, it's our XG. Our XG is 7.03. That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what about for the start of the season? If you want to bring up your team's morale, play the DFB Pokal at the start of the season and utterly destroy the opposition. And there, Luca's just regained position for us over to Techahoa now. Can he get a cross into the box? Are we going to get another goal before we finish this one? It is entirely possible by the looks of it. Jaeger now. Can he cross it? No, it's back to Schuber. Schuber to Diallo. Diallo. What a goal, though. I know it's against lower league opposition, but that is a strike and a half. That's his 2nd on his debut as well. I think some of these players we've brought in, again, I know we're playing Routenliga, so I'm not expecting us to go and play like this against Bayern Munich and score 12, because that would be ridiculous. But looking at the performances and the way that these guys are playing, because I've played quite a lot of the pre-season friendlies as well, I think the likes of Freeman, Diallo might actually be genuinely good pickups for the season ahead. And we might have a team capable of getting into those Champions League spots at least, and maybe even challenging for the Bundesliga. That might just be me being a bit too hopeful, though. We'll see as the season goes on. I guess we'll probably start finding that out in tomorrow's episode. Union Berlin are no slouches, and Bayern Munich, obviously, by far the best team in the league. This is our 13th goal here through Luca. Utterly ridiculous at this point. There's no point watching the replays. Just let Routenliga die. Oh God, I feel genuinely bad for this team. Can you imagine if you're a supporter and you've come to watch this team? And yeah, you've got to see Hertha Berlin, but also, Jesus Christ, you've been utterly battered. I mean, that's not, like, there's no other way of putting that. I mean, Tetra has got 2 assists, a 10 rating. What a brilliant performance from him. And of all the things, there's an article. We've just put 13 goals past a team, and apparently we're complaining about the 1 disallowed goal. Are we okay? I feel like that's abnormal. Anyway, looking forward to tomorrow's episode. We're going to look at the first 2 matches of the season, which are against Bayern Munich and Union Berlin. I don't think we'll have any more transfers before then, but I am very keen to see how our new transfers do in those matches against a couple of bigger sides. If you have enjoyed today's episode, of course, please do drop a like down below to support the channel. It's always really appreciated, and it does help the video get out to people who might not have seen it yet. And if you are enjoying this series, hit the subscribe button as well. Until next time, though, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you over on tomorrow's episode. Bye bye.